Hi, everybody. It's great to be here, and thanks to you all. So I'm just going to present on a project that I've been working on for about the last 18 months. It started off with these guys, who are all based in my home city, which is Dublin in Ireland. And for ages, I've really wanted to do a project kind of looking at Ireland's relationship with all of these tech companies that are based in Dublin. And just in case you didn't know, they are based in Dublin, and it's not like small little operations that they have there. It's usually, for most of them, they're EMEAs, which is like European, Middle East, and African offices. And also, I know we see kind of a lot of Web 2.0 ones there, but it's actually been going on for quite a while. Apple have been in Ireland since 1980. Microsoft have been there since 85. You can go even further back to 1958 when IBM opened up an office in Dublin. So I kind of really wanted to figure out how I could do some sort of work on these guys. But I didn't really know how to start. But at the same time, I had these other questions influenced a lot by other artists, such as, I know she's here, or she'll be here tomorrow, Ingrid Burrington, Even Roth, the Share Lab. So a lot of these people who are kind of looking at the materiality of the internet. So I kind of had these silly questions, such as what is the internet? What exactly is it? What's my relationship with it? What does it mean? So the internet for me is kind of like a series of machines that are connecting to each other and talking to each other. How do they communicate? Well, they've all got IP addresses. So what exactly is an IP address, and how can we figure out where IP addresses go? So I'm definitely not a network engineer, but kind of start learning about stuff that's already been mentioned, such as doing trace routes, which I was doing kind of just off my laptop, coming up with stuff like this, and obviously kind of feeding into Whois and ICANN and trying to get a sense of how it all works. So what I then tried to do was kind of came up with more silly questions that I didn't know if they could be answered or not, such as how many IP addresses are registered in Ireland? Is that a question? Does it make sense? And if it is a question, who are they registered to? So what I came up with there was this table. So what I found out, just using kind of online sources, was that Ireland has about 13 million IP4 addresses registered to it, going by the ICANN database. And this is a kind of wide collection of government agencies, corporations, et cetera, et cetera. And what you can see here is the top 10 companies. So a lot of it makes sense. You've got three. You've got Vodafone, Liberty Global, BT, Imagine. These are all internet service providers. Number two, you've got HEA Net Limited, which is the higher education authority. So again, that makes sense. So what kind of interested me was why are Apple there? Why are Microsoft there? And why, most interestingly, at number one, with just under 33% of all IP4 addresses in Ireland, were Amazon. So I was like, what's all this mean? So I'll come back to that in a moment. Now, at the same time, as I said, I was kind of doing research on the materiality of the internet and trying to apply it to Ireland and specifically to Dublin. So kind of looking at cellular towers, manhole covers, et cetera, and I kind of found online resources like this, which is a really boring website from the Commission for Communications Regulation in Ireland, and they've got this really cool map, which is basically here. And what that is a list of all the cellular towers that are in Ireland. So you can zoom in and you can get exact locations, and then you can do stuff like this. You can actually go and visit them. So the left is the map. It tells you the company who the cellular tower is registered to, what services it provides. And then I can go in, this is in Dublin City, I can go and actually see the tower itself. There's another one. I was also looking at kind of historical aspects of networks and how networks are built on top of other networks, et cetera, et cetera. Sorry, okay. I'm going to go on. So, and then I got like into manhole covers as well, again, influenced by Ingrid Burlington's work a lot. So let me just jump here. So these are like all different manhole covers. This final one here, the ones before are like all kind of semi-state companies. This is Virgin. So we can see then that it's like this has happened around 1999. Communications are deregulated. So I wanted to find out a list of all the like fiber optic cables in Dublin, and I came up with this using an FOI. I also started doing work on subsea cables, trying to figure out like where does the internet connect in Ireland and where does it go to. So all these submarine cables, kind of interestingly from a historical point of view, they connect either directly to the States or to the UK, which is kind of interesting in kind of Ireland's kind of historical relationship with both of these countries. But then I found like the planning permission documents of these submarine cables. Anyway, back to this table. So I had all of this information about all of these companies. So the reason why Amazon are there is because of data centers. So I don't know, I'll skip on. So like Google, Facebook, their data centers, they're hyperscale. They're kind of advertised. We can find them really easily. AWS, so Amazon AWS are a little bit more kind of secretive or quiet about them. They prefer not to really show where they are. They give you these global infrastructural maps, so it's like regions. So Ireland is actually an AWS region. It's called EU West 1. To find that, I had to go through planning permission documents, looking at stuff like this. So I probably don't need to tell this crowd here why this might be problematic in the context of Amazon, AWS, ICE, their operations, etc., etc. I'm going to skip on this. I also got, you can ask me about that later if you want to know what I'm on about there. I also became familiar with the work of Mario Santamaria, who does an excellent internet tour over in Spain and Catalonia. So with that in mind, I set up my own tour called C-Node. And basically it's a tour where I try and answer these two questions. What and where is the internet in Dublin? And what's the Irish state's relationship with the tech multinationals based there? And what are the potential implications? So what we do is stuff like this, kind of like we meet up, we go around to all of these places, I kind of rant outside their offices, we take public bus trips, and we talk about data centers, and then we end up here, which is one of Amazon's AWS's data center, one of their availability zones. So it's like a cluster of AWS data centers. So it's totally nuts. Over on the left, it's somebody talking to one of their security guards. So when you go to these places, they come out to tell you can't take photographs. You're standing on public road. When you ask them, like, what's inside this building? Sorry, I'm done. 1 minute. Okay, what's inside this building? They won't tell you. They won't tell you who owns it. But like you can see over on the right, on the picture there, it's got like the planning permission document. Like, so you can see it's an Amazon one. Then, yeah, there's loads of them. The picture down the bottom right is the world's first ever AWS data center picnic for people who would never actually be invited to one. So kind of the outcome of one of the outcomes is this, kind of taking Shannon Matern's idea of infrastructural tourism to extremes. This is the data center where we have the picnic. We're all kind of standing over there. So I start giving out postcards to people. On the basis that Jeff Bezos wouldn't like postcards of his data centers, and I invite everyone to send postcards to Jeff Bezos, which we do, and I've been sending them out to other people, so I'm going to finish up now, thanks. If anyone would like a postcard, just come up and give me your address, and I'm happy to send them to you, okay? Thanks a million, everybody. Bye.